Welcome to Roadmap to Secure Love, your essential guide to love and attachment. Join Kim and Kyle, relationship therapists, as we explore the keys to fulfilling relationships and secure connections. In today's episode, Kim and Kyle explore the common relationship dynamic where one partner leads with their head to connect, often seeking solutions, while the other leads with their heart by expressing emotions. We will delve into the challenges this creates and provide insights on how to bridge the gap. Stay tuned for practical tips to enhance your relationships and create secure love.
Kim and I are so excited to have you here with us today on the Roadmap to Secure Love. One of the things that we see in our sessions is we have these two partners who love each other, care about each other, and then they try to communicate and they both end up feeling so missed, so misunderstood, more frustrated, more like enemies than lovers. And one of the things that happens so often when we are trying to be there for each other is we get caught in this dilemma of what we call the head versus the heart. Kim, can you talk a little bit about what that means?
Of course. Yeah, the head versus the heart. Very, very, very common. And both are needed. So let's break it down. Okay. So the heart talk more talks about your feelings, like I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling lonely, I'm feeling hopeless. The head wants to fix it, right? Well, let's, get you into therapy. Let's talk to your boss. Let's, update your resume, doing all of the things, right? Fix it. But when those two meet, they actually clash. They're speaking two different languages. So, for example, if I come to my partner and I'm having an emotional need, and then my partner tries to fix it, I'm going to withdraw. Or maybe I'll poke and say, "You never listen to me. Why do I even tell you anything?" And my partner is actually trying to help me. They don't want to see me sad. They don't want to see me hurt. So they're trying to give me advice, but I can't hear it. And there's a reason for it. There's actually science behind it, Kyle. And the science is that our amygdala, the part of our brain that does fight, flight, I'm running from a dinosaur, protect me, is activated. Okay. So when I am having an emotional experience, that part of my brain is activated and I cannot hear. All I can think of is I need to protect myself and I need to be safe. So problem solving, not going to hear it. Even if it's the best problem solving you ever give me, I'm not going to hear it. I'm not going to hear your advice. I'm not going to. I'm not going to see your heart, which is that you're trying to help me. I'm not. So what do? What does my partner do? Always tend to the heart first.
Yeah, it's so important. And I think going back, I think so many people, when we do have these conversations with our partners and they are distressed or they're emotional, right? There is that part of us that wants to get them out of that feelings, right? And it's not because we're like, oh, your feelings need to be managed and your feelings need to be like gotten rid of. It's, I see you in pain and I don't like that because I care about you. And so I'm going to offer a solution. I'm going to do that. But the problem is our partner's brain is not, I mean, Dan Siegel talks about flipping our lid, right? When we have all this distress, we end up actually losing access to our neocortex. We can't take in another perspective. We can't problem solve. We can't have humor. We can't see another perspective. And so we are emotionally blocked from engaging in effective problem solving until we feel that our heart is connected with. And that's what you're talking about is so important, right?
It's important. And your partner who's talking with their head when we're emotional is really trying to help, but we're talking two different languages. So what do we do? What do we do, Kyle?
The thing that Kim and I see and what we're when we work with our couples is we help them really start to get into a heart connection first, right? And so if we imagine you two were to hug, right? One person's in their heart, one person's in their head, we have what is called a miss, right? We go like this. And this is what happens in communication. Just like Kim said, we're in two different planets, two different places. We need to get back to the same place. That's where we need to start. So the solutions you have are probably brilliant. They could be helpful. And if your partner's not open to it, it's not going to land, which is going to make you feel more frustrated. So the thing that we know that's also based in research is when our partner's in distress emotionally, how do we connect emotionally with their heart and create that safety so their brain comes back online they can feel connected to you, they can feel secure, and then they can engage in the problem solving if that's actually even needed. So, Kim, can you talk about what that looks like? How does someone who sees their partner in distress, is in their head and going, okay, I got to fix this. They need to talk to their boss. They need to push back against that. They need to talk to this person who's pushing their boundaries, and their partner's like, I don't know what to do. I'm just overwhelmed. I can't handle this. This is too much. And how do they get heart to heart?
So the person who's speaking with their head, that's trying so hard to take away the pain, we've got to speak to ourselves and say, I'm going to help them in a different way in this moment, but I'll give them my advice later. Okay, so we got to do some self-talk. Then what we do is we validate their experience. That doesn't mean you agree with them. It means that if they had this viewpoint, it makes sense why they're upset. It's putting ourselves in their shoes and understanding where they're coming from. They could be totally wrong, but if you had that viewpoint, it makes sense why you're that way. And number 3 is touch. I loved, Kyle, how you said hugging, right? Because there's something about touch, safe touch, that can calm the nervous system. Just like a kid when they're crying, you pick them up, you hold them, and then you talk to them about why they shouldn't have jumped off the kitchen table, right? You don't tell them that, you comfort them first, right? So for the head person who speaks with their head, who wants to give advice, we got to first talk to ourselves and say, oh, Kim, just hold it, hold it, hold it. Don't give advice to your partner just yet. They can't hear you. Validate your partner first, and then somehow connect. Hold them, tell them it's going to be okay. Once the nervous system comes down, you guys can talk about it if it's needed. Kyle said, if it's needed, sometimes that's all that's needed, is just to calm the nervous system, and then you don't need a problem solve.
No. But this is what's so powerful. Again, and the reason we're bringing this up is because when one of us is in our head and one of us is in our heart, we miss, it's so painful. And we both feel much more despair. The person in their heart's going, why don't I understand? What's wrong with my partner? And they start to poke and they start to blame. And the person in the head goes, well, they're illogical, they're irrational, they don't make any sense. And the problem is we get farther and farther apart. But if we can start to see this dynamic unfold, and the person in their head can go, okay, they want to problem solve, or they want to get out of this. They need my support right now. Can I just validate what they're feeling? Which to that person is going to signal safety. It's going to signal I'm seen. It's going to signal what I'm experiencing matters. And it is going to take their whole nervous system and send a signal that they are safe and they can start to relax. Their breathing will get bigger. They'll have bigger breaths. They'll start to relax. And then the touch is another signal of, okay, the world's safe for me. And these are all the cues that their body takes in to go, oh, I can relax and I'm okay. And the person I love most in the world is right here with me. And then you can ask them, okay, are you feeling better? Are you feeling connected? Are you feeling cared for? If that answer is yes, and you still have that part in your brain that's going, I really think this could help, you can ask, would it be okay if I maybe offered a suggestion? Are you open to that right now? And your partner might say, yes, I am. Tell me it. Or they might say, I'm actually not quite ready, or I don't want that. Right? And that has to be okay. Because if that is okay, and it's okay that they don't need that or they don't want that in that moment, doesn't mean that your idea is bad. It means they're not ready to lean into it. And if you can accept that no, it means when you do have advice and input later down the line, they will be much more open to actually taking in and utilizing it, which makes you feel good as that useful, valued partner that you are. And being able to connect with their heart first is also going to demonstrate that to them too.
Mm-hmm. And so what you just said is that you get partners who end up getting closer. Yeah. So the goal is that when you're in conflict and you all of a sudden say in your head, my partner is just so emotional, that means you're in your head and the invitation is to move to the heart. If you're the partner who says, my partner is just so analytical, they just don't get it, they don't get me, means you're in your heart and they're in their head. And we've got to recalibrate that, right? Meet at the heart first, head second. And Kyle and I have seen it time and time again that when you meet at the heart first, the head second, what you get is closeness, connection, and good problem solving.
Effective problem solving. We're talking about this head and heart. It's like we need to be able to connect emotionally, connect in our heart, and then collaborate together in our heads, right? And that is what you can do as a partnership, and it'll help both of you be more effective, work through problems together, be there for each other, and actually have a lot more fun with each other because you will feel closer. You'll feel like you're kind of in the foxhole against all of life's challenges because you can be in those emotional spaces and problem-solving spaces together, which is what both partners yearn for.
This is one of the roadmaps to create secure relationships and secure love. Thanks for being a part of it today with us.
In this episode of the Roadmap to Secure Love podcast, Kim and Kyle share actionable steps for couples to improve their communication and connection. First, recognize the head versus heart dynamic in your relationship. Second, when your partner is distressed, focus on their heart by validating their emotions and providing emotional comfort. Third, use self-talk to delay problem-solving impulses and create a safe emotional space. Fourth, employ touch to calm the nervous system and convey safety. Lastly, ask your partner if they are ready for suggestions or solutions after emotional connection has been established. These steps can lead to closer, more connected relationships and effective problem solving for both partners.